I think we went into the season with very high expectations, and based on the way we finished last year, the players we had returning, and I think the guys handled those expectations well. Had some tough tests early in our season with Otterbein and Mount Union early. It was important to respond from the Mount Union game because I think sometimes people put a lot into the expectations and have a tough time if they fall a little bit short. But the guys responded well and played, I think, outstanding football and built momentum, each week as we finished the season real strong. And we were very excited to have the opportunity to get back to postseason play. I think the guys earned that opportunity by their performance throughout the season. Felt like we were playing really good football at the end of the year, and the win over Wittenberg in the first round of playoffs was huge for our program to get back to the postseason play and play an undefeated opponent and play against them very well. Came up a little bit short against North Central, but I think nevertheless it was a great season. I think the final polls have us in the top 10 in both polls, so I feel like that's one of the better seasons in the history of the program. We were definitely loaded with a couple, with two of the top teams from the previous year, early in the season, with Otterbein and Mount, the first two conference games. So we knew that was going to be a tough test, and we'd have to have a great preseason to be ready for that. And we played really well, I think, against Otterbein, and Mount Union maybe we didn't play as well, and some of that would be attributed to their performance. But I felt like that was a really tough test right out the gate. As the season progressed, there were some other teams that were having great years. Baldwin-Wallace had a great season. So we played them when they were undefeated. And it was, I think, pretty interesting. The first few teams we played them when they're undefeated. We played Otterbein. They had not lost a game yet. Mount Union hadn't suffered a loss. Muskingum was 3-0 when we played them. Baldwin-Wallace, I think, 2 weeks later was undefeated. So it was really interesting how most of the teams we played in the first half of the season were all undefeated. I think we had good balance, offensively. We showed the ability to run and throw the football. Based on being in the Midwest and the weather and the opponent, you have to be able to be flexible on offense and also get the ball to your playmakers. So I think our offensive coaches did a really good job of designing a scheme that we could run the ball when we needed to, or have the ability to throw the ball and generate some big plays. And we threw the ball vertically a little more than we had in previous years, so I think that was another strength of our offense. But I think we led the league in rushing. We were in the top 2 in scoring offense, and right up there in pass offense. So the balance was definitely something that was really positive. Defensively, I think we felt like we had real strong secondary, and we really created a lot of turnovers. Our youth up front, really, we got better and better as each week progressed. And we felt like we were playing with good speed and good depth up front as the season progressed. And our kicking game was just real solid. I think we were in the top. At one point, we led the country in net punting, and we had a field goal kicker, kickoff. Production was very strong with Blair Ellenberger in Blair Ellenberger in that role. So we were, I think, real consistent in the kicking game. There's a tradition for the last 15 years of an all-star game, Division III all-star game, which highlights players from all over the country. This year, I think there were 22 teams represented and 42 players that played against the Mexican national, college all-star team. Football in America is big, but football, American football in Mexico is definitely growing. And you can see they're very serious about it. They put a lot of resources in terms of facilities and coaching, and they're serious about their football in Mexico. So this is the second year I had a chance to be involved in this All-Star game. For years, it was coached by retired coaches. The last 2 years, it's involved. The process has involved, current active coaches. And I jumped at the opportunity when I was invited to, because I felt like it's very unique to have the opportunity to put the stars and stripes on and represent, and really promote the game of football, but also maybe get our players an opportunity to be involved in this. So we had 2 players last year and 3 guys this year that were involved in it. And I think they would express that it was an unbelievable opportunity for them, that they loved it. Well, I think, we're just looking forward to the challenge of, demonstrate that we have a consistent program. We feel like we're on a real positive path. If you look at the last 7 years, there's, I think, only 9 teams out of 240 that have been nationally ranked, 6 the last 7 years at the end of the season. So we're proud of that consistency. I think that's important for the future in recruiting, as well as, gaining support from our alumni and others that we show a consistent program. To be able to do it year after year after year, that's what we want to do. We don't want to have a program that has one good year. We want to have a program that is consistent over time. So we're pleased with the progress. We want to keep working for the future. I'm hoping our guys will come back in January hungry and ready to build on it. Based on the conversations I had with them before Christmas, here, I feel like the guys are, they're excited about what we accomplished this year, but they also know that we have to keep working to continue to build on that. So we're excited about that, and we're looking forward to it.